This episode discusses sensitive topics relating to medical negligence resulting in the loss of a child. The content may be upsetting or triggering to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
No, it's
I'm so
fine.
sorry.
No.
That's so sad.
Hi guys, welcome back to Entry Level Mums. I'm Suia,
And I'm Nasra.
and today we have a guest.
Mm-hmm.
We have the lovely Shukri, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Shukri. I'm an English teacher. And yeah.
You sent us a request form
Yeah.
and you have a very interesting story.
Yeah.
And I also follow you on Instagram and I watch your stories and you have the best stories. Like her vibe is so jokes. So I was like, I want this girl on the
I'm
podcast.
just always running.
Yeah. So when you sent the request form, I was like, is that the one that follows me? I think it is.
Yeah, I remember I sent it I think my son was 4 months.
Yeah, it was ages
And he's
ago.
1 year old now. Yes, I was
No
literally,
way.
Yeah. I was literally I need to talk about everything that happened.
Yeah.
And then I kind of forgot about it. And as I follow you guys on Entry Level Mums,
Yeah.
I always listen. I always watch and
Yeah.
everything. So then when you messaged me back, I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna do it.
Yeah. Actually, I remember there was a time, I think we were supposed to do it before Ramadan.
Yeah,
And then you were going away.
I went to Gambia. Yeah,
You went away and stuff.
On
Yeah.
holiday. Yeah.
But we're here now.
Yeah.
We're here now. How are you? How are you feeling today?
It's always the right time, innit?
It always
everything
happens at the
happens.
right time.
Sorry about my low mood, guys. I'm a little bit sad today, but
Do you want to talk about it?
no, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm just a little bit sad. But I'll pick up.
She looks a
when
bit
I
deflated.
when I get into it, I'll pick it up. Don't worry. Just a
Oh,
little
bless
bit sad.
you. That's why I had to start the episode on a calm vibe today. Because I don't have the energy that Nasra has. But I hope you come
And
back. man.
Nasra doesn't have the energy to do that because she's sad.
I'm sorry,
It's
man.
okay. We'll get into it. Don't worry, guys.
Shukri, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
When did you get married? When did you meet the love of your life
Yeah.
and all of that stuff?
Oh God.
God.
I got married in 2020 lockdown, so I
Damn.
didn't have a wedding, anything. Yeah, I didn't have anything. But it was fine. I prefer it that way because I don't really. I love Somali weddings. I love weddings.
Yeah.
But me personally, I don't like all that kind of stuff, being centre of attention. So I was happy with that. It was literally my mum's house,
Oh.
just my siblings.
Oh.
We tried to do a bridal shower party thing, but remember they did that rule in lockdown where you couldn't have, I don't know, 6 people, 8, I don't know what it
Yeah.
was, something like that.
The one that they weren't following themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So literally no one could come, my friends couldn't come. But that was nice. We did a little thing in our living room. And then, I moved to East London. I'm from South London. But
Oh.
yeah. But we're back
Literally,
now, so
but-
it's fine. Yeah. Are you guys both from South?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was in Southwest for since I was 4 years old.
But we're back in South London now because
Yeah.
of baby, childcare, things like that, obviously. But so got married in 2020. 9 months later, or 8 months later, found out I was pregnant. So I was really happy, really excited. It was pretty much first time. I was like, oh, this is so. It felt so easy. I didn't know what was to come, but I just thought, oh, this is so easy. It's fine. Went to the hospital in our area. I won't name the hospital because it's a very bad hospital.
Okay.
But if anyone knows Walthamstow or East London, you probably know which
Is
one
it
I'm
beginning
talking
with a
about.
H?
No, but I know the one you're thinking about as well.
Is it beginning with a K?
It's not, I literally don't. It's Whips Cross. Whips Cross. Yeah, have you heard about?
No.
That's the worst hospital.
I don't know
ever.
anything about East London, so.
No, it's a very bad hospital.
Yeah, I know that's a terrible hospital.
It
It looks like a care home.
yeah.
It's a terrible
Wow.
hospital.
And literally, so obviously I didn't know that at the beginning. I thought everything was fine. So this was in 2021, September. So September, November, October. No, I'm literally doing this wrong. September, October, November, and then December. So 4 months. Everything was fine until then. Then I got I don't know if I should say this because I don't want to conspiracies and stuff like that. Because it wasn't because of this, but I got the vaccine, the COVID vaccine.
It was probably because of the vaccine.
So, I got the COVID vaccine because I got the first one in February. Remember, they were like, you need to get it. And in February, I remember them saying to me, if you're trying to get pregnant or if you're pregnant, don't take the vaccine if you're trying to get pregnant in the next 6 months. And I was like, that's
Oh,
fine.
so they
I'm not trying to
told
get...
you
They at least
if you're
pre-warned you.
trying to
Yeah.
get pregnant,
Yeah.
don't take the vaccine.
Yeah. This was like 6 months, like not even 6, 7, 8. This was in February.
Yeah.
So at that time, I got married in December. So I just, like, it was January, February. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just take the vaccine because we weren't trying to get pregnant. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then in December, they started again. Not even in December, before that, they kept saying, if you're pregnant, make sure you take the COVID vaccine. So then I was like, it was stressing me out so much. And I was like, I spoke to the doctor. I was like, they told me in February, if you're trying to get pregnant, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't take it. They were like, yes, because we didn't know much about it back then, but now we do, and it's really important. Like, and anyway, I got what's the word? I don't know. I just got scared, and I was like,
You
to
felt
protect my
pressured.
baby. Yeah, I feel like I
Yeah.
need to be a good mom. I need to protect my baby, so let me just take it. Even
That's
though my
how they
husband-
get you. That's how they get you. That's how they got me.
Yeah.
That's how they got.
Did
Well,
you
like,
take the?
I'm so sorry. COVID it brings a new level of anger to me now
Yeah.
because that's how they got me.
Yeah.
It was literally like, oh, don't you want to protect your kid? Oh, don't you want to, don't you want your child to be protected from this? I dodged COVID for
Yeah.
2 years, yeah. I
Really?
never had the vaccine. I dodged it for 2 years. I
Yeah.
never wore a face mask. I was out and about. I was outside. I never caught COVID for 2 years.
Oh my God.
It's only when they started saying to me, she's going to school now. Don't you think, don't you think? And then my mum was like, oh, don't you think? And then I was like, let me just take it. After I took the COVID vaccine, she gave me COVID. She didn't even get COVID. My kid didn't even get COVID.
No way.
She carried it and gave it to me.
Yeah.
And after I had the vaccine, I was done out here. 2 weeks, I was flat. I couldn't move.
Yeah. Literally. So
It's not a conspiracy.
yeah. It's literally, and now it's like, I feel regret, but you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and alhamdulillah, like, it's fine. So I remember that was in December, and then pretty much, so by then I was like 20 weeks, and then for the next 2 weeks, kind of, I had like really watery discharge, and I had cramps as well. Like a few days I wouldn't go to school, like I would have to take the day off. But I thought, it's part of pregnancy, it's fine, it's normal. But I thought, let me bring this up in my next appointment
Yeah.
at Whips Class. So I brought it up. They asked me questions. They said if it's not like smelly or painful, or itchy, or any of those things, then it's fine. It's not an infection. So I was like, okay, but like it's really watery. But they were like, it's fine. And I brought it up like many times. And I even said it's a bit yellowy or a bit whatever. And I was explaining it, and they were like, no, it's fine. So I was like, all right, I've told them. They've seen it. They've spoken to me. It's nothing, right? So I thought, okay, it's fine. So it carried on. And then there was this one day, this was in January now. So this was like throughout the whole of January. So I remember the end of December, I got the vaccine. And then January, pretty much 22 weeks, nearly 23 weeks. And then I remember it because I had my drive-in test. I failed it anyway. But it was Wednesday, the 27th of January. And I didn't go to school because I had my driving test. So I was at home. I had and I also did have really bad cramps as well. I wasn't lying about that. Like I had to not be at school. So throughout the whole day, and then maybe like 8 p.m, I had these really bad contractions. But at the time, I didn't know it was contractions. I was so naive. Like this whole thing, I was just so
It's
naive.
your first time though, isn't
Yeah,
it? How are you
most
supposed to
people are.
know like what's normal?
Most
Like,
people
you
are.
don't-
Yeah. Like you just don't know anything.
You don't know. You're just thinking this is part of pregnancy, I guess. you
Everything.
know?
Yeah, you're just like, this is part of pregnancy.
Also, there's no there's no generic experience.
Right. Everyone's
So
different.
yeah, there's no you
Yeah.
can't look back and be like, oh, this is normal, this happened, this like there's no book like for example, your pregnancy and my pregnancy completely different.
My
can
my
never
first and my
predict it.
second
Your
was
first and
also
your second. See what I'm
different.
saying?
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
generic pregnancy.
Yeah.
So
And
what's
that's-
normal is
yeah.
different for everyone.
Exactly. And in my second pregnancy, like when we get to that, I was completely the opposite. Like I was not, like a hypochondriac, but like with this, like I was just
Yeah.
every minute
Well,
I was
you
like
would
this
be.
and Googling because I would be, but before I didn't even Google anything. Like I didn't even, but I don't think you guys' podcast was available at that time. I don't think you started.
No, we
Because it was
didn't.
2021. But like, I didn't even watch anything. Like, obviously I watched One Born every minute, like everyone, but that doesn't really tell you about
That's just the
pregnancies,
labor.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I was having these cramps. They were really bad cramps. And then I remember I was watching, I don't know what I was watching on TV, and I was eating these like chili crisps, and I was just like enjoying myself. And then the pain was getting so much worse. And then I was like, okay, let me stop. And then it would go, and then I'll just carry on watching. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like it's getting really bad. So I texted my friend who's a midwife, and I was telling her my symptoms. She was like, okay, time these cramps because they might be contractions. And I was like, okay.
And you were
But I
what,
was
around
still
28
fine.
weeks here?
No, this was 22.
22.
Oh, that's way too
right.
early.
22 and a half weeks. Yeah. So I'm not even, do you know what I mean? You're not even thinking about birth or anything to do with that. You're like, I'm just trying to get through. It's like nearly.
Braxton Hicks, maybe?
Yeah, I thought they were Braxton Hicks.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Braxton Hicks, but she was like, okay, time them. So I timed them and it was, I can't remember, but it was like every 5 minutes or something like that. And then it was going to every 3 minutes. I was thinking, okay, she was like, you might be in preterm labor. And that's the first time I thought about, this is weird, like I could be in labor. But I still wasn't like, it didn't hit me still.
Yeah.
Like it hit me a little bit later on, but it just didn't hit me. I was just like, it's fine. Like, okay, I might be in labor. Like it was weird. So then I told my sister, I told my mum, my husband was working. So he wasn't replying. He didn't know what was going on. He came later that night. But yeah, so then she was like, okay, time, I think you're in preterm labor, call the triage. So I called them, and then when I described to them that, they were like, yeah, come in right now. And I was like, okay. So I was going on the way. But even then, I was in the Uber, like I was speaking to the guy. He was like, then he started telling me like, it's fine. My child was born at like 5 months. And I was thinking, because I was thinking in my head, my child's not going to be born now. Like it does.
Yeah, what you talking
doesn't add
about?
up.
Yeah. I bet you had nothing ready as well at that point.
Nothing.
That's mad.
Forget car seat. Like I didn't have a hospital bag. I didn't have clothes. I didn't have anything. But it wasn't a thought in my mind. I thought, I'm going to go to the hospital. They're going to check me out. And then like whatever happens. Yeah. But slowly, I'm starting to think, okay, maybe the baby could be coming now. So we got to the hospital, went to the triage. And then my sister met me there. And obviously my sister lived in South London. So she came. And then it was like a student midwife. Not a student midwife, a student doctor and another one. And they came in, they tested because I was telling them, okay, I've been having watery discharge and everything. They tested it and said, okay, we need to test it. It's amniotic fluid. So I was like, oh my God, that's bad. Because that means it's whatever, my waters are leaking.
At that point, how long had it been leaking for?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Like 2.5 weeks.
Because you've been telling them.
Yeah.
They should have fucking tested it when you mentioned it the first time.
They should have tested it the first time. And this is the thing, what people don't realise. Like anyone that's pregnant now, at 20 weeks, get them to check like your cervix.
Tell
or
them,
do
look at
like
the camera.
Guys, get it checked. Like ask them to check your cervix because it's so important, literally. Because I knew it the next time, so I knew what to do. But they will, anyway, I'll get onto that. But at 20 weeks, like make sure. In other countries like America and Australia, I found out later, they do it as like a routine check at 20 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, but in England, they don't do it. Like, I don't know why, but this it's so weird, these kind of things. But so they tested it, and then the lady was speaking really fast. She was like, yes, I'm not amniotic fluid, blah, blah, blah. The baby might be coming. You know, it's, high chance that the baby's not going to survive, blah, blah, blah. She was just rambling. And my sister was like, stop, like, just wait. Like, what are you actually saying? Because she was just speaking so fast, and I was just like, I didn't say anything because I was just speechless.
She didn't give you a chance to process.
Yeah, like, sweet, calm down. So my sister was like, wait, hold on. So what you're saying is, and she kind of like broke it down for me. And then I was like, okay, so like what now? And then that was kind of like the beginning of it. But in my mind, I was like, it's fine. Like anything is possible. And that's when I started Googling everything at like premature birth at 22 weeks. But 24 weeks is like when it's viable. But any time below that, they basically say like, yeah, the baby's going to pass away. Like they pretty much prep you for that, like everyone. But in my mind, I still had hope. I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like anything is possible, because there are some cases where it was like 23 weeks. But I was just holding on to this. I wouldn't even say it was like, oh my God, I'm holding on to hope. It was just me being naive. Like I just thought it's fine. Like it has to be fine. So I told my husband, no, so don't look at me like that. You're going to make me cry.
I'm about to cry myself. There's too many sad things today, wallahi.
This girl is already on edge.
I'm a legit, now that you said that, the tears are coming.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But when people cry, it kind of makes me emotional.
Look at me.
Just don't look at me. Just don't look at me, wallahi.
You can see. Yeah, so I told my husband and he made his way. So they were like, you're going to have to stay in hospital. We're going to have to transfer you to either St. George's or St. Thomas's. Because obviously, because they're so rubbish, like they're not experts in this, and they kind of knew that. sorry, so like the other hospitals are more experts in this area. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So this is when they transferred me to St. Thomas's, but I had to stay there the whole night. So in the night, literally, like my sister, I was wearing my bati and everything. My waters literally went in the night because they were like, your waters are leaking, but it hasn't gone. Like, so it went in the night and it was proper like a gush. Like, you know what they say in the movies? It was like that. I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. So I had to like change and everything.
The panic. How did you feel in that moment though? Because you're only halfway through your pregnancy.
Yeah, I was like, it's so weird. Like, I didn't really process it. Like, I wasn't like, this is really happening. I was just kind of like, oh my God, my waters have gone. I was just kind of thinking, okay, what can we do? What can we do? Like,
that's the teacher in you that came out.
Yeah, I
The
was
solution-driven teacher.
Yeah, literally, I was just like, I can't break down. I can't be emotional. I just need to think, okay, what are they going to do? Okay, hopefully we'll get a bed at St. Thomas's, blah, 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 blah. So then that night we like blue lighted all the way to St. Thomas's, or was it in the morning? I can't remember. And St. Thomas's, they're much better in like preterm, like labour and stuff like that, premature birth. They have a whole prematurity clinic, which like...
Excellent hospital, by the way.
Yeah, they're so good. Like, they're just so good. Even like their bereavement midwives, everyone was really good. And but then when we went there as well, pretty much it was like so we first went in and there was this lady, but there were like lots of students, you know, and there's like lots, she was like, it's okay if the students here. I was like, yeah, it's fine. They had to check my pad and everything. And then they were like, again, it was just, everyone just like basically giving me the look of like, prepare yourself, like this is really sad. Like everyone was already like mourning for me and I was just like, wait, it's not happened yet, like let's just see what happens and everything. And then even like I remember the 2 student doctors, they were really cute. Like they were like, how are you feeling? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking, these kids are just so sweet. But I was just like, I'm fine. Get away from me. No, I'm joking. But they were like, they were trying to do what they thought was right. But I was just thinking, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then so we were in St. Thomas's, and then I spoke to the gynecologist. There was another pediatricians. Everyone just came in with the same information, you know. And I remember they were saying like he was breech as well. So he was breech, and also because it's like below 24 weeks. And I remember them saying because he's a boy, it's like less likely. And I was like, what do you mean because he's a boy? They were like, girls are more likely to survive than boys.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like,
That's insane.
oh my God, yeah. And I was like, why? And they were like, that's just what it is.
No way.
And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So like, that's why I always like, oh my God, I want a girl. But anyway, it's fine. But yeah, literally like, so all those things, everything was just, everything was just stacked against me. So I was just like, okay, let me just make that, like it's fine. And like my husband was really helpful in keeping me like, I don't know the word, but basically not like losing the plot.
Grounded.
Like, keeping me grounded, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, it's fine. If this happens, like it's for a reason, inshallah. Like,
Qadarullah.
you know, we'll learn from this. Exactly. It's all written. And then literally in the hospital, they put me on, well, they were just monitoring me, to be honest. And then they were like, nothing's happening. So that was Wednesday. This is Thursday now. They were just monitoring me and they were like, nothing's happening. So we can put you in another room, like you can sleep there and we'll just monitor you. And then I started to have more hope. I was like, it's fine.
Were you in any pain?
We're gonna get through it.
Did it stop the contractions?
So I had the contractions and then that day, Thursday, they stopped. Like, there was no contractions. Yeah. And she was like, okay, it seems to all be slowing down. It's fine. And so I started to have this like, I don't know what the word is, but I just started to have this hope that, oh my God, maybe it's fine. Like maybe I can stay in this. Because some people, it's called P.R.O.M, preterm premature rupture of the membranes. Yeah. So like sometimes people have it, but the baby stays in. Yeah. But my water had gone. So pretty much they were like, we do want to get the baby out. Yeah. I was like, maybe like if another week, maybe if it gets to 23 weeks or like 24, then that's more of a chance. So I was thinking all of that. They were like, we're just going to monitor you, see how it goes, blah, 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 blah. And then they took us to another room and my husband got some food. We had this biryani and it was spicy. It was spicy, but it was really nice. So anyway, I had that, yeah. And now I'm thinking, why did I have that? But anyway, so I had that and then literally like 10 minutes later, the worst pain I could ever imagine. Like the contractions started, like, but it was the worst pain.
spicy food induces labor, doesn't it?
Yeah, but this is what I mean. I was so stupid. Like, I didn't know anything.
No, it's not stupidity.
okay, don't say that.
It's literally like,
Don't say that.
how could you have known that though? Like, if you were 9 months, then yeah, okay. Then they start to tell you there's things that you can do to induce the labor, like eating spicy food. I mean, it doesn't always work. I ate tons of spicy food when I was 9 months and plus, and she didn't come out.
Really? Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was eating spicy. I was drinking like chili, and it wasn't working.
Oh my God.
So it doesn't always work.
Exactly. And like in the second pregnancy, I did do that because I wanted him to come so early. I don't know, I'm just crazy, but I wanted him to come. He came a week early because I was doing all the, dates and like squats.
Oh, the
and
dates
walking.
work so well.
So did that and then went to the bathroom. I started to have this pain that was like, because we were trying to go to sleep, but I just couldn't. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced. And then so my husband went to get the midwife, and I was saying, I really need to do number 2. And then she was like, where do you feel the pressure from? Blah. And I was like, I don't know. I need to do number 2. And then she was like, okay, just maybe like go slowly, whatever. I was like, okay. So me and my husband went into the bathroom. Oh gosh, it's emotional. I'm not gonna. It's a bit traumatic.
Take
I'm
your
not gonna lie.
time.
It's traumatic.
Take your time.
But literally, so I went to the bathroom, and then I was obviously going straight, and then I could feel his legs. So then I was like, oh my God. And then that's the moment where I was like, yeah, like this is, like that's the moment it hit me. Like the whole time it didn't hit me. And then this time I was like, I just started going crazy. I was literally screaming. I was like, my baby's gonna die. Like I was literally just screaming. And they were like, okay, come, let's go, blah, blah, blah. So they put me in the bed and they started to like wheel me away. It's a bit of a blur that time, but I remember that's the time when I was just like, whoa, it just hit me all of a sudden because I could literally feel it. And I was like, okay, this is happening. This is real. So then we went into the room and obviously I went into labor and it was just the worst pain. Like they gave me gas and air, obviously, but it was just, the pain was just indescribable. And then, I basically and there were lots of people in the room and stuff like that. They had told me all these people are going to come in and we're going to try this and try that and blah, blah, blah. I remember they said to us, like, if you want, we can just like, we won't even try kind of thing. And you can just have some time. And I was like, no, try everything. But then like when he came out, he had passed away. Yeah. So like slowly everyone leaves the room and it's just the doctor and he's like, yeah, unfortunately this happened. Like, I don't know why I'm whispering. Anyway, but he's just like, unfortunately this is what happened. And I was like, I knew it. I was just crazy a little bit, just for a few minutes. Then they gave me morphine, which was good. But in that moment I was just like, it was just the worst pain ever. And it was like, just that moment of, I can't even really remember it, if I'm honest. Like, I can remember the things that happened, but I'm pretty sure I was like super emotional and everything. But then I was just like, I'm in pain. I'm like, it hurts so much. So then they gave me morphine. And I just kept saying, can I have some more morphine? I just kept saying that because it was just so like relieving. And it kind of made me like, I went to sleep. And then, pretty much after that, they were like, you can like hold him if you like, and his name Yusuf. So they wrote the little thing for us. They did like little handprints and footprints, which was so nice.
Oh,
that
that's
we still have,
sweet.
And
That's
no, it's
So sorry.
no.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Do you guys want some tissue or anything?
Sorry. I can't imagine how you must have felt. Like, I can't imagine how you must have felt.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to make you cry, but...
No, it's okay.
Oh, that's so sad.
Do you want to take some time?
You
in the
know,
toilet?
isn't there a hadith? Isn't there a hadith that, like, on the Day of Judgment, your baby calls out for you in Jannah, and says, "Where's my mom? Where's my
Yeah.
mom? Bring me
Yeah.
my mom."
It's
And
gonna pull their parents in.
the umbilical cord is gonna pull you into Jannah. So obviously not everybody that watches this is gonna be a Muslim, but the ones that are understand. And even though it's so painful here and so sad now,
You will
when
see
it
him
really
again,
matters the
yeah.
most, you'll meet
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing that helps you to get through it, because you know that it's a blessing, number one. And that's how you have to see it. And that's the only way that you can get through it. Because sometimes you think like, oh my God. There was one split second where I literally thought like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Like, what have I done? But you can't think like that, because there's so many blessings that we've all had in our lives and we don't think, why me? So it's only when the bad things happen that we think, oh, why is this happening to me? And the thing is, it isn't a bad thing. Yes, it's sad, it's extremely sad and stuff, but it's a blessing and it's a reminder, and it helped me to like get closer to Allah and my religion in a real way of like, you know, I don't know, it's like a reality show, like a wake-up call. Like, are you doing everything that you need to be doing? Are you just like, you know, wandering through life, taking it easy? Or are you doing like the best that you can? So for me, it was really that. And obviously after that, I had like 6 months off work. So it was a time for me to just get back to myself and think like, what are you doing? And just get closer to Allah and build that connection. And it really did help me with that. Like, because it's almost like you have two paths, like you have two choices to either go off the rails and be like, how could this happen to me? Because it is one of the saddest things to ever happen to someone. Obviously, to lose your child, it's not something you ever expect happening. But then there's so many, I always try to think about, like, there's people that are going through much worse things, like people that get to 9 months and everything was ready, people that never even had the chance to get pregnant. And you have to kind of remember those things and be grateful for them, because like we're all gonna die. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like we're all gonna die, and not to bring the mood all the way down, but
I know, but we sometimes forget thinking we're here forever.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, like you
And
just
also like you know, when calamities befall you a
Yeah.
person, yeah.
yeah
Sometimes you're thinking, why is this happening to me? But what you don't realize is that could be your ticket to Jannah. Do you know what I mean? Like when you are getting tested and you have sabr, it's literally it's your ticket to Jannah. And you losing a child, like this is not the end for you and your son. Do you know what I mean? Like you will reunite with him, and I can already see that like you stayed strong, and if it made you closer to Allah, like that's beautiful at the end of the day.
That
Do you
was
know
the
what I
whole
mean?
reason why Allah tested you to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. And it made me view things completely differently than what I did before. And now when I get struggles, I see it as like a gift, because it's like you get a chance to like reflect. And you know, like if you're not constantly reflecting and thinking about if what you're doing is correct, then you kind of lose sight of what is important. And going to the burial, for example, and going to visit him in the graveyard and stuff, is a reminder of death. It's a reminder of your religion. It's a reminder of Allah. It reminds you of all these things that you need to be reminded about, that you don't want to forget. So I see it as that. Like I see, okay, it's good to struggle. Like sometimes if I feel like life's going too easy, I'm like, what's going on? Wait, why is life too easy right now? I need I need a struggle, you know? So yeah, I like it. It's a blessing. It's weird because obviously I wish it didn't happen. Like I can't lie and say,
Of course.
yeah, like I wish it didn't happen. And if I could go back and avoid it 100%, I would. But alhamdulillah, at the end of the day,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Obviously, sorry, my belly's just rumbling like mad. It's because I'm hungry. Sorry.
We usually bring snacks. Today we
So-
kind of forgot.
Oh my God, I should have brought you guys snacks. I was literally thinking about that. I was like, oh my days.
If you heard it, that means the camera definitely
Uh-oh, whoops.
I don't think the camera can catch it.
can. It can.
Has it ever done it before?
If you heard it from over there, that means this
Oh, yeah,
microphone definitely heard it.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry. I was gonna ask. Obviously, you experienced this traumatic, like, thing. How did it affect, like, your partnership? Did it bring
Yeah.
you guys closer?
Yeah, definitely brought us closer. Like, that's another blessing of it.
Yeah.
Because my husband's dealt with this more. Like, me personally, I've not dealt with death. At that point, I've not dealt with death at all. So the first death was like my son. So it was like, whoa. And my husband, his parents passed away. And he's had a brother that passed away as well. May Allah have mercy on them and grant them Jannah. I mean, but yeah, so
And your
he
baby
was,
too.
and I'm my baby too, inshallah. Yeah, I mean, so like he literally helped me through it because he had the strength to do that. So, and I remember him telling me afterwards, he was like, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird thing, but he was like, I could smell it, like he could smell death or something. It was weird. And I was like, that's scary. But like it kind of helped him to be more prepared for it and help me to get through it.
Wait, so he smelt it after you gave birth?
Yeah. Well, so basically he's had this it's not like a weird, I don't know why I even said it. It's not like a weird thing. It's like I think he could maybe like have had a
could sense
feeling.
it,
He
yeah.
could sense that it was like maybe gonna go that way. Because he had that same feeling when his brother passed away and his mum as well, because he was in the hospital for his mum and his brother.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I remember there was a time in the night like where I kind of had a breakdown where I was just like, why is this happening to me? And like he was there for me to like reassure me and be like, no, it's fine, like it's a blessing, you know, just say alhamdulillah. Like, so that kind of helped me to, you know, steer me in the right direction. And also like my family were there as well, my mom, my sisters, my dad and brother, everyone was there and around me, and all my friends. Like it was another blessing to make me realize that I've got so many people around me that love me and care for me, and do you know what I mean, will bring me food and look after me, and my aunties, cousins, like so many people. So I was like, okay, like it's just kind of reminding you of all these like blessings that you have.
You're not alone in it as well.
And you're not alone, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did definitely bring us closer. I was like afterwards, I don't know if I should go into the aftermath. So like I was quite crazy, like almost psychopathic. Well, I wasn't psychopathic, I'm exaggerating, but like, so I had a period of like grieving, and then after that it's like you just want to get pregnant again.
Yeah.
So like I was just crazy. Like I just had the flow app, you know, like the
You
flow
weren't
app.
crazy.
I wasn't crazy. Yeah, so I had.
You're a mum.
Yeah.
You wanted to do it right the second time. You wanted to
Yeah.
give it another shot. It's
Yeah.
normal. I've seen
Yeah.
that happen so many times, like where somebody experiences a loss and then they need to do it again to make it right.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's when, so I got counselling. So so the bereavement midwives at St. Thomas's are really good. They give you like 5 free like counselling sessions, and like if you get pregnant you get like 5 more.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so I had this really nice counsellor, Sharon. She was so nice. And
Shout out to Sharon.
shout out to Sharon.
Sharon from
Shout out to Sharon.
Guy's Hospital.
Yeah, so like we did those sessions because I realized after a bit that I was a little bit like I wasn't crazy, but I was just not really, you know, keep getting it together. So I took 6 weeks off school because you need 6 weeks to recover, because obviously I went into labor. Like it was weird. Like I went into labor and I had given birth, and like I was lactating and stuff, and like all those things. So it was just weird. Like my body's going through this thing, but so it was just hard to like readjust and be normal, because my body's like expecting a child. So yeah, so I had those sessions with her, and she was saying, even though you do want to get pregnant, it's not a replacement. So like even if you do have kids after this, even if you have like so many kids, it's still not going to take away from the fact that your first baby, your son, passed away. So I was just like, oh yeah, that is true. So I had to kind of come to grips with the fact of like, it doesn't matter how many kids I have, like, or how many sons or whatever it is, like, that's still gonna be painful. That's still gonna hurt. It's still a trauma.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, one hard thing for me was like what to tell people, because even till today, I don't really tell everyone. Like if I'm having a conversation with someone, saying like another mum, and then we talk about it, it comes up, I will say it. But if people ask me like, how many kids do you have, it's like I just say one just for ease. But I know in my mind, like I've got two, like I know I've got two.
Yeah,
but
I hear it.
because then they start asking questions and you don't want to say, yeah, but he died. And I don't know, it feels private.
Yeah.
Do whatever,
Yeah.
whatever works for you and whatever makes you feel comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? You don't even have to explain yourself to anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the true fact of the situation, but I don't know why I feel like it's, like I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm being vulnerable, but I'm, yeah. So yeah, she kind of helped me through that. And we had all those sessions and stuff.
Obviously, after experiencing all of that and then going through the counselling sessions with the Sharon, shout out Sharon.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet, like, because you said you struggled to talk about it, right? And like to say like, okay, I've had 2 kids, 1 passed away.
Yeah.
Did you ever like meet other like women who've experienced like the same like loss?
Not really. So I did, after that happened, lots of people I started to realize how many people had gone through it.
Yeah.
But it was more like, so my mum, I remember all her friends came over, like her, it was really sweet. Like they're like little, like Mal'aman's friends, and they're just so religious and good. And they came and like all of them were saying how they had experienced this and they had gone through this. And other people were saying, oh, my mum experienced this and my sister-in-law experienced this. And so I was hearing those kind of stories. But in terms of like actually meeting someone, I can't say I've met someone who has had that experience, though I know many people exist. And I did try to go to some, like, do you guys know the Mum Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to those, but I'm not going to lie, it wasn't my vibe. Like, not in a bad way. Like, they were all really nice, but it was just, I spoke to a few ladies and, like, we connected and stuff, but it's just not, you know what I mean? This is why I think you guys should do events, because then we can meet people that are, like, similar to us. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. Don't worry.
Because,
you know what I mean? Doing something like that soon, innit?
Yeah, good, inshallah.
Because got that coming, inshallah.
Because it's hard to like meet people that are similar to you. Because I do have one of my friends, she's got 2 kids, Allah Mubarak, and there are people our age obviously that are having kids and stuff like that, but in like my immediate circle, no one had experienced that in a similar way. So apart from the kind of like the counselling, I didn't really connect like that with someone who had experienced similar things. But yeah.
Can I just say, yesterday I was at a wedding and like 3 people came up to me and said, when's the event? When are we doing the link up?
Mad.
Yeah, it needs to happen, girls.
Yeah.
Literally.
I also feel this immense pressure. Do you?
Yeah, I do feel it as well.
I feel this, like, I want to do an event for mums,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, are we going to execute it properly?
Of course you will. Like, I don't know why you guys think you will.
I don't know.
We
I
will.
don't know.
You will. Because everyone's like, because I remember I went to one of them in Islington, mixing up motherhood. Eileen, she was there.
Oh, we follow her.
Yeah. I speak to her still now. She's so sweet, because I was saying I wanted to start a motherhood podcast. And she was like, okay, I'll be on it. But obviously I haven't started it because it's just, you know. Anyway, so she was at the event. So the one that she was at was like very diverse. And there were lots of like really nice people there. And I met these girls. I think they were Somali as well. One was Somali. I can't remember, but they were like saying how, oh my God, we need to do our own mum club and have events for people like us. And we were like, yeah, like we'll do it and stuff. But we didn't actually do it because life.
Yeah. That usually is the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Life.
But I think people definitely want to connect with people. And, you know, there's like Peanut and stuff like that. But
Don't worry, you'll be on the guest list.
100%.
yeah, definitely, guys,
100%.
because you 100% have to. I was thinking here, when I come, I need to tell them they need to do an event.
Yeah. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Inshallah.
So there was that whole aftermath. Like, it was very, like, there were lots of people always around, like my aunties, everyone was around. And then obviously it just kind of dies down. And for like, I think 6-7 months, I was kind of on that crazy thing. Sharon was saying, like, it's fine. You're not crazy. It's just you want it so badly, but just don't. Because I used to get depressed. Like, every time I would get my period, I'd get depressed. And then I was just like, okay, this is just ridiculous. Let me just be calm, and I started to like try and do exercise and just focus on myself
Yeah.
and be okay. Like, this has happened, and whatever's written is written. But I remember like thinking about you guys' episode. Yeah, I remember thinking like, it's okay if my husband wants to marry a second wife if I can't have kids, and you just get crazy. Like, you start thinking about anything and everything. You're like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Not me being a bad influence.
No, it's literally, I was just like, all these things, your mind just spirals,
Yeah.
and you just think, who am I? So, and then November, like October, I remember I was doing a pregnancy test like every month, like, or even more
You know
frequently.
what this reminds me of? The
Yeah.
episode with Sharia. You know when Sharia said that every time it didn't work, she would get very depressed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a common thing.
Yeah. I can imagine, because it's just so, it's a weird cycle that you go through, because it's like every month or every few weeks there's this new possibility of like, it could happen, and then you get yourself in, you start thinking, oh my God, I've got all the symptoms, and you start convincing yourself, yep, I'm pregnant. Like, you're like, yep, I feel a bit sick, and you just do all these crazy things,
Do you know
You're
the
like,
mind is so funny as well? Because when you convince yourself of something, your mind like plays along. Your brain like it can trick your body into
Yeah.
thinking whatever you believe.
all the
It's
time.
mad.
Yeah, literally. So anyway, so then I did that, and then October, I remember I wasn't pregnant, but I was okay with it. I remember just thinking, it's fine, I'm gonna make dua, and if
Yeah.
it never happens, it's fine. Like, and then November, I was pregnant, so I was like, oh my
Alhamdulillah.
God, alhamdulillah. It was just amazing. Like, we were both so happy. I remember walking back from school, I was like, that same thing. I was like, I'm pregnant. I know I'm pregnant. And then I was like,
What?
wow, this is amazing.
You felt it. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I remember I was like, okay, I think I definitely am. But then I was, when you psych yourself out, you're like, nah, like, I'm not. And then, yeah. So it was really, really happy day. And then, but I was like, okay, this time I'm going to be really quiet about it. Because I remember last time I told everyone, obviously, straight away. But I was like, okay, I'm going to be really quiet. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And then literally it was our little secret for like 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, for like, that's quite a long time, isn't it?
It's quite long.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
though.
quite a long time. That was when I told my sisters. My mom knew a bit earlier, and then I told my friends when I was like 37 weeks. They were like, "You're crazy!" Like
37 weeks.
Yeah, I was literally 37 weeks. I was like, "Yeah,"
So
because
funny.
even at school I didn't tell anyone. But obviously I had to tell my line manager.
Yeah.
I hate him, but he's my staff. I don't know why I said that. I don't want to backbite. But yeah, he knew, and the head teacher knew. And I remember at 9 weeks, I had really bad, like I was bleeding like a lot, and I was like, oh my God, I'm having a miscarriage, and I had to leave school. And then I went to Whipps Cross, obviously, that useless hospital, because it's the closest one. They were like, you go into A&E and you say your problems first of all, because first of all, the line is not even any organisation. So you go in, you say why you're there, and I was saying, I'm bleeding a lot. I think I'm having a miscarriage. I'm really worried because I've lost a child before. They were like, okay, sit down, you get your waiting list. So I go to the next person who's supposed to be like the little doctor, the little people in the little thing.
Assessment first.
Yeah. And then he's like to me, they do urine sample and everything. And he's like, are you aware that you're pregnant? And I was like, yes, I came because I think I'm having a miscarriage. And he's like, okay, well, you are, it does say you're pregnant. And I'm thinking, oh my God, even if I was having a miscarriage, it would still say
you're
pregnant.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, these used to be people. But anyway, they, luckily, alhamdulillah, I got a scan the next day. And then they checked it and they were like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes that just happens. Like, there was no bleed, there was no hematoma or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they, like, nothing was there. So they were like, it's fine.
I think I experienced like a little bit of random bleeding at the beginning as well.
Really?
It was like totally random, and I remember thinking, what the hell?
Yeah, it's so scary.
It's so scary.
Especially when you wipe and you're like, did that come out of my ass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it my bum, or where is that coming from? You're like,
when you
what
stare
on
at the
earth?
tissue, when you stare at the tissue for so
Yeah,
long, and you're like,
you know,
is it
I-
purple? No, it's
brother.
green. It's green. It's not red. It's
What? I'm looking at it like, is that dark red or is that light red? Like,
Is it
what is that?
burgundy? Is that purple?
And then I took a tissue and I was like, go to the other side, and I'm like, wait, okay, so that's definitely not that side. Okay, what the hell is going on?
No, but that's like, it wasn't even that. Like, it was literally
Oh my
very,
god,
yeah.
that's
Like,
red,
yeah, not when I wiped. It was literally on my, like, it was like a
Oh.
huge, yeah.
like
yeah.
a period, like
yeah,
one.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
that I would have.
and
lost my
bright
shit.
red as well. And I was
Rah,
like,
I would
yeah.
have ran.
So it wasn't like, it could be spotting, it could be, no, it was
Oh,
like serious.
Yeah.
And it wasn't stopping. So I was like, I'm having a miscarriage. Like I was literally so stressed, and then the vice principal was calling me on the phone. She was like, Shukri, what happened? I was crying on the bus. I was like, I think I'm alright. I was just literally crying. She was like, it's okay, just blah. And then alhamdulillah, it was fine. But she was just saying these things happen.
That's so scary.
So that happened.
Yeah.
But not apart from that. So then 20 weeks is when the main thing happened. So for the second pregnancy, I was with the prematurity clinic. I went to St. Thomas's, obviously, like I didn't stay at Whipps Cross. That was just A&E because if you're before 18 weeks, you have to go to A&E.
Yeah.
But if you're after 18, you can go to the
Triage,
MAE.
yeah.
So that was then. But then afterwards, I had appointments with the St. Thomas's prematurity clinic every 2 weeks. And because of what happened before, they did check my cervix. So every 2 weeks, they were checking the length of my cervix.
Very good.
Because last time my cervix obviously went really short, open, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So because of what happened, they were like, this is what we're going to do. And they were so nice. I remember this lady, Debbie, she was so sweet. Like, she was the nicest. I remember once she came in, and it was Friday, and my husband was wearing like a thoba khamis, and I was wearing a black abaya. And then she was like, can I ask you guys a question? And we were like, yeah. She was like, not to cause offense or anything, but is this like you guys' uniform? Because I see a lot of guys wearing white and the women wearing black.
Uniform.
And I was like, no, we can wear what we want.
She's not wrong though.
She's not wrong.
Most khamises are white.
It's true.
Uniform is mad though. Uniform is crazy.
She was like, is it kind of like you? And we were like, no, it's just because blah, blah, blah. And it's Friday. Well, so anyway, so she was really nice. But then we had these checkups. They were fine.
Uniform is crazy.
No,
are we firefighters?
But she was. I think she literally maybe had like always thought it, and then thought these guys are so nice. I always see them. Let me just ask.
Let me ask.
Yeah, she was like, let me.
Doesn't that concern you though? The little understanding of other people's religions and cultures. There should be some sort of need training.
Literally. So and then 20 weeks. This is why I always say 20 weeks, guys, because this is like, I don't know what's important about 20 weeks, but it always happens. So anyway, 20 weeks, we had the anatomy scan. And we also had a premature P.R.O.M clinic appointment that day as well. We went to the appointment, found out it was a boy, alhamdulillah. In my mind, I was happy, but you know what I mean? I was a bit cautious. But I was like, it's fine, alhamdulillah. Everything was arms, legs, everything's there. So then, like you have happy news that 20 week, and then afterwards we had the prematurity clinic. So I was like, okay, yep. And then they were like, okay, this is what we were worried about. Like your cervix has shortened. And I was like, and it just felt like, whoa, like
it's happening again.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, the happiness of like, but throughout the whole pregnancy, I felt anxious. Like I had so much anxiety because I was just like, I couldn't enjoy it like any single bit. Like I just couldn't. And then I felt like, okay, stop being ungrateful, be grateful. But I just really couldn't. And then when that happened, I was like, I don't know if I laughed in that situation or whatever. I just felt like, oh my God, it's all happening again. This is crazy. But alhamdulillah, at least they spotted it. Like this is why we had those appointments. And then they were like, you got two options. Like get the a progesterone like tablet, or you can have a cerclage, which is like the cervical stitch.
A what?
A cerclage.
I'm sorry.
It's
Could you explain?
A what? What kind of a name is that?
Stitch.
Cerclage.
A cerclage. Yeah, that's what it's called. And I was like, it's a
that sounds
cervical
scary.
stitch. Yeah. Does it sound scary? I'm like, yeah. So that's
so
what
they stitch it closed.
So let me explain. So they were like, okay, so your cervix. I don't know if you guys ever did this because I don't think people do it generally, but your cervix should be, I should have like, I can't remember it anymore, but it should be more than like 3 meters or something centimeters. Like if it goes below, like people that are watching these who are midwives or doctors are going to be like, what's she talking about? But
they're going to be shouting at the camera.
Yeah.
It's 5.
It's 5. But I used to know it, but I just don't know it.
Do you need to Google it real quick?
Yeah,
Let
say
me
like
Google it.
So wait,
normal length of cervix or something.
it's this way or is it this way?
What do you mean?
So you're obviously vaginal opening,
And then
is it this way or is it like long ways? Is it long ways like to go down like towards your in your the cervix? Is it like to go that downwards like towards your pelvic floor?
Yeah.
Or is it this way like?
That's a good question. I think it's this way. I think it's this
Okay,
way.
that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's this way.
Okay, so it says
Yeah,
here,
go on. What does it say?
a cervical stitch, also known as a cervical cerclage, is a surgical procedure that involves placing a non-absorbable stitch around the cervix to keep it closed during pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's a treatment for cervical weakness, which can cause the cervix to shorten and open too early, which can lead to a late miscarriage or preterm birth. The procedure is usually performed between 12 and 24 weeks of pregnancy, either vaginally or abdominally, and the stitch is removed at 36 to 37 weeks, unless you go to labour.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It can be abdominal, where they obviously need to cut you there, or vaginally, like they do it that way. So that's what they did for
How
me.
the hell can they stitch you without seeing what they're doing?
No, they do. You like they get the
Like a
speculum.
camera?
Yeah.
Oh wait, they open you up with a speculum. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
They can see into it with the speculum open.
yeah.
Raw.
So because it was shortened, so some people, like afterwards I did research on this, some people's can be like, they can be open like 1 centimeter dilated or whatever, or they can have like not much of their cervix left. Mine had like a few centimeters, but they were like, if you carry on, it could go shorter, or you can get the stitch. So I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I thought, okay, let me get the stitch, because so that night I remember they were like, you kind of need to decide, because the appointment was like the next day, like it was so quick. And I was like, oh my God, because my husband was a bit nervous and he was like, maybe we should do the tablet, see what happens, then do the stitch. And I was like, I don't want to see what happens. Like, I've got trauma.
Just close it up.
Just, you know what I mean? Because that feels more secure to me. You know what I mean?
Question.
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be where the mucus plug is?
Yeah.
Does that mean that there's no mucus plug?
Yeah, no, it does. But
Or
you
is it
just have
smaller?
to take it out. But doesn't that happen when you go into labor?
Because the mucus plug comes out, no? And then that's
Yeah.
when the cervix opens.
Yeah. It has to come out before you give birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean that it would affect your mucus plug, or is it just the cervix,
No.
the
I don't-
opening of the cervix?
Yeah, just the cervix.
Because
I
you
don't-
said that you leaked amniotic fluid. It went past the mucus plug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
They
I
will
can't-
unstitch you
It's
anyways.
technical.
Yeah,
It's
the
very
on-stitch-
technical.
It's very technical. So I remember them saying one thing that worried us was like, they were saying, if you go into labor and it's the stitch is not out, like it could basically rip through your cervix and affect your
Your next one.
pregnancy and
Damn.
stuff. So then my
Damn.
husband was like, oh, that's a bit scary kind of thing. And I was like, but I'll know if I'm in labor. So they were like, if you're in labor, you have to come to the hospital straight away and they remove it. It takes like 5 minutes to take out. So I was like, that does sound scary. But you know, sometimes they'd have to tell you these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that will happen. Look at Nasra's face. I'm like, if it does happen, because I feel like if I'm
anxiety,
in
man.
labor, like
I
I'll
have
know.
anxiety now.
The anxiety
just thinking
of
about
having
it.
to go
Such
through
anxiety.
this,
Oh my God.
not knowing what's going to happen. And
Yeah. And because it's like, I've been through this already, I was thinking, is this a joke? Like, is this a joke? But, you know, alhamdulillah. But yeah, so we had to decide that night. And I remember we were like, okay, what should we do? This or that? They were like, you can do both. I was like, why would we do both? They were like, it's up to you. They didn't really want to recommend, because they were just like, you know, it's up to you, it's your decision. But obviously the stitch is a bit invasive. Like it's, you know, they were like, you can't like do any more exercise. Like I wasn't doing much, but I had just started doing PT sessions because I thought, let me be healthy this pregnancy. That was out. They were like, you can't like go swimming, you can't have a bath, you can't do anything down there, like anything, yeah. And then
That would remove the stitch.
yeah, like it could affect it. I saw people online saying they had done things, but I was just like, I don't want to risk it. I'm not even in the
fairs.
you know what I mean? So literally we made the decision. I remember we woke
it
up in the
hurt?
night. Yeah. But only when they did it. So when they actually did it, it hurt for let me even tell you about that. So I got the spinal, which is kind of like epidural.
Yeah.
I had epidural as well, so it's similar.
Oh.
Yeah. So literally, I had to go in for the surgery, you know, like it's not the proper surgery, but it's like
still a procedure.
yeah, it's a procedure.
Yeah.
So you go in, and then they numbed me from, you know, a spinal, so my legs, I couldn't feel them. And then they did it. It was the same like midwives and doctor that I had had all the meetings with and stuff like that in the prematurity clinic. They were like, we're going to be the ones doing it. And when I told them, yeah, I want to do it, they were like, this is the right decision for you. Like, we were hoping you would do this kind of thing. So I was like, oh, thank God. And then they were like, yeah, we don't want to waste time because blah, blah, blah. So we did it. And then afterwards, I had to stay in hospital for a few hours. Kind of the same as when you give birth, because they had a catheter, so they had to wait for me to like use the bathroom and all that, blah blah blah. Then I was on bed rest for 2 days, so dramatic, you know. Like I was like, I can't do anything,
Girl,
like,
you deserve to be in bed for 2 days.
can't go to work, you know. I can't do anything. Some people are on bed rest till the end of their pregnancy.
Wow.
Because their cervix is opened or it's gone so far, but because they were monitoring me, they could see that it wasn't.
Yeah.
So this is what annoys me when I think about whips cross, because I'm like, if they had noticed that earlier, they could have done something. But anyway, so yeah, we did that, and that's when I had to like tell, obviously, everyone, like, well, my whole family. I was basically like, hi guys, I'm 5 months pregnant, but I'm at home, I've got a cyclage, blah, blah. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, and it's a boy. And they were like, what? It was just so much information.
That's when you told them for the first time. Man.
I bet the word cyclage is one you'll never
I was
forget.
like, they were like, yeah, literally, because
That's mad.
my friend who's a midwife, I spoke to her about it, but I didn't say it was for me. I was just saying, have you heard about this cyclage? Like, is it good? And she was like, yeah. And then after she was telling me, she was like, I thought it might have been for you, kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I kind of thought you knew as well, but we didn't. But anyway, yeah, so we did that, and then and then came out at 37 weeks.
Okay.
And
Alhamdulillah.
then
Fully cooked by
alhamdulillah,
37
it
minutes.
was fully. And I was like thinking like, oh my god, 37 weeks, he's gonna come straight away, but that didn't happen, obviously.
Did you have to go and get the stitches taken out?
Yeah, they gave me gas and air for that as well.
Gas and air.
Yeah. I was like, yes, gas and air.
We love gas and air over here.
Bite my lip every time I think about it. Gas and
I
air.
was literally like, gas and air. Yeah.
We're
But,
such druggies, honestly.
yeah.
Anyway.
literally, like,
If you want to kidnap me, just give me gas and air.
yeah.
I will go with you gladly.
No, but the best is like morphine. I'm not gonna lie, that makes you forget everything.
Really?
Yeah, it's so soothing.
Ilahi, oh God, please don't ever give me morphine because I'll turn into a crackhead.
You become
Please don't ever
addicted
give me morphine.
But yeah, after 37 weeks, got it out, and they were like, "Do you want to see it?" I was like, "Okay." Anyway,
The stitch.
yeah. I was
Do you
like,
want to see it? You should have kept
No,
it.
you're right.
yeah, it was disgusting, but yeah, I saw it, and then
You should keep it. Show it to your son when he's older. This is
yeah,
live.
this kept you inside.
One string.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. And then I left work at 38 weeks, but then I went into labor 39 weeks. So I basically, I wanted to bring it on because that's why I was having all the dates and I was doing like squats, you know, the curb walking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, just get this baby out. I don't know why I was doing that, because now if I go back, I'll just be like, just relax. You know, everyone was saying, just relax, just sleep, enjoy your time. And I was like, no, I need the baby to come out, because I was so anxious. Like I just wanted it to happen. Anyway, I remember, so on the day I was doing marking, like I was doing marking for the exam board. And then I was like, okay, let me just do some more marking. And then I was like, I think my waters have gone.
Oh.
I told my husband, yeah, literally.
In the middle of marking, yeah, you got that correct. And then, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then you carry on.
Yeah, wrong.
No. So I was marking, because I was off school, but I was still marking. And then I was like, yeah, let me just do as much of this as I can. They knew I was pregnant, obviously. They knew my due date and everything.
Yeah.
So they were like, just do as much as you can. And then in the night, I couldn't sleep that night. Like I just couldn't sleep. I was just tossing and turning, blah, blah. I had a feeling. I was like, okay, I think it's going to happen. And then I woke up at 7 a.m. I was like, I think my waters are broken. I went to the bathroom. You know, you think it's blah, 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 put a pad in, all this kind of stuff. And then I went to my husband. I was like, I think my waters are broken. He was like, are you sure? Because I used to go to the hospital for anything.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in my second pregnancy, any kind of thing, like any kind of discharge, any kind of, because after the stitch as well, like it could sometimes there'll be like bleeding and spotting and stuff like that. So,
Bless you, man. You must have been going through it. The 9 months of
I was
just
literally-
pure anxiety.
and I used to always go to, you know, obviously you go to triage and there's so many women there.
Yeah.
And then you just have to wait for so long, and it's like, I could have just stayed at home, but I just need
Yeah,
that.
like the 3 hours they made you sit in there.
Yeah.
That's
You
not
have to wait
even-
so long, and then it's like, but I just need that peace of mind. Like
Yeah.
I can't. And
Better
then
safe than sorry.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
but, but I remember there was one day, right, and I kind of thought, okay, I had done. I would always go in for the same thing, and they would kind of tell me the same thing, like everything's fine. You know, I hate speculum so much, and so when they would mention it, I'm like, oh my god, I really hate speculum. They're like, yeah, we got a seed. I'm like, okay. And there was one day I was waiting for so long. And sometimes when they make you wait for so long, it means that there's nothing urgent, because they do it in the list of priority, isn't it? So I was like, I'm just gonna go. I've been here so long. I came in at like 2. This is like 9 p.m. I can't. Yeah,
My goodness.
it was so long. And I was like to the lady, I'm gonna go. I'm so sorry. And she was like, we don't advise it because they want you to stay. I'm like,
Why are you keeping me here for 7 hours then?
I'm like,
That's
am I a priority? And I was like, also, I've got to pay for parking. Like, it's so expensive. I said to them, oh, is there any kind of discount or any help with parking? They were like, no, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I'm not paying £4 an hour and I've been here for how long? Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm going to go
£4 an
home.
hour.
Yeah, they were like,
And you've been there for 7 hours.
Hospitals
Yeah.
are ridiculous, sis.
That's nearly £30.
Yeah. The hospital, that's the one thing about St. Thomas's, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why it's not free. Is that just me? I don't know why hospital parking is not free.
I think it's because in this country, they don't want other people to use the parking.
Oh, really?
If a
Surrounding.
hospital car park was free, you would get like commuters and all these other
Yeah.
people parking there and
because
different.
exactly. So literally, I was like, she was like, okay, you can discharge yourself. I was like, that's fine. Like, and they had to anyway. So because I had gone in so much, I didn't want to go in because I just thought I just don't want to wait. Like, I don't want to be those women in the hallway that are like dying and they're in the hallway. Do you know what I mean? So I waited. I was like, I'm gonna wait as long as I possibly can. Like that's my plan. I'm not. So I was having contractions, but they were light. And then I was still marking. I was just marking, taking a break.
Such a
taking
teacher thing.
Yeah.
Wallahi.
I was like, let me just get it done.
Giving Zainab.
Yeah, literally. I was just like, let me just do this. And then, so that was like 6, 7 a.m. And then like by 11, 12, I was like, I need to go in now. I really cannot take any more. And then, so we went into the hospital and on the way there, I was just like, like breathing through the contractions, and they just kept getting worse and worse. And I was just like, it's fine. I'm going to do it. In my mind, I'm not going to lie, I kind of knew I was going to do the epidural. I'm not going to lie, because they had a meeting with me as well. Like, I had an appointment with, I don't know, anaesthetist or whatever they're called. Yeah, and she was saying, because of your BMI and blah, 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 like, we do recommend the epidural, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. But she was like, but this is just protocol. Like, you don't have to do it. But if you want it for peace of mind and whatever, then you can. So I was like, okay, I'll just probably decide on the day. And she was like, okay. So when I went in, they check your pad and stuff, and they check you. And she was saying, I can feel the baby's head and you're 4 centimeters. I was like, okay, that sounds crazy. And then she was like, but there's also meconium because he pooed. Yeah. And then
Did she feel the baby's head?
Yeah, I was like,
This is crazy.
At
I was
4
like-
centimeters is
yeah.
How did the baby get through?
Yeah, but the thing is, that was a long time. And this was at like,
Didn't you feel the need to push?
no. Maybe she said she could see it. She said she could see it. Yeah. I was like, okay. And then they were saying, because, the meconium green, it's all green in it, the discharge, all the people. So I was like, okay, they were like, gonna have to induce you. And I was just like, okay. I didn't even think anything of it.
Induce you for what if they can see the baby's head?
Yeah, because I wasn't that dilated. I was just 4 centimeters. Yeah.
they need the cervix to
So I was
open
like,
up a lot
yeah,
more.
because so I was just like, okay, fine. Even though, in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be very calm. I'm going to do natural. I'm going to do this breathing or whatever. But at the moment, I felt like I was a bit crazy. Like, the pain was making me crazy. Like, I couldn't.
That's the active labor.
Yeah, I just felt
Yeah.
like, oh my God, wait. And I was just being rude to my husband and everything. I was just like,
I
okay,
know that
calm
exact.
down.
It's a thing. When I did my antenatal classes, the
Yeah.
lady said that the contractions before active labor are going to be painful, but they're going to be bearable.
Yeah.
But as soon as you hit active labor, where you're about to give birth, she said that you'll turn into a monster. And when she said that to me, I was like, fair enough, cool, innit? I told everyone, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
But you literally become a monster.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I was
afterwards,
angry.
Like, sorry.
Even
yeah,
though,
you
even
become
though
so angry.
I didn't say a single word. I
No
couldn't.
way.
I didn't even have the energy to talk. I was literally just, my eyes were closed the whole time. But in my head, I was cussing everyone.
Yeah, because you can't really speak
I was
as well.
I was angry at like the pain. Get me out of this pain.
Exactly. It's like, what is this pain? Like, I knew it was going to be
Yeah.
bad. And the weirdest thing is, I think because I had the trauma of the last birth as well, I was just like,
Of course.
I only see this going one way. So I was just being crazy, but I was just like, it's calm, just calm down. Like, but in my mind, I couldn't shift that. Like, this is it's gonna happen again. I was just, lots of things were going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically they were like, we're gonna have to put you on the drip, you know, the hormonal drip. I don't know what it's called again. I think it starts with P or something they give you. So they put me on the drip.
Prostaglandin or something like that? I think so.
And that just is too much. That pain is just too much. Like, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have an epidural. And my mum and my husband were like, no, you're strong, like you can do it, blah. And I was like, I know I'm strong, but I want the epidural. Like,
Inductions apparently make the contractions
worse.
go from 0 to 100, man.
Yeah.
The worst experience of my life, wallahi.
Yeah. Because did you guys have induction?
I
as well?
have, yeah, we both had an induction. I think it was the worst experience of my life, genuinely. Like, I would never do it again.
Did you have the drip?
No, I had the pessary.
Oh, okay.
So, but because your labor had already started, my labor wasn't starting. So I had to have the pessary to start it off.
Yeah.
So you know how you said you felt light contractions at the beginning?
Yeah.
I didn't feel any light contractions. All my contractions were strong.
Oh my God.
From the beginning.
Nah, that's
And I felt every single one.
it was too much. It was like, as I said, like I felt like it's not like a normal pain. It's like I'm going crazy. Like I literally cannot. And the thing is, I just felt like, you know, I feel, because of everything that happened before and the trauma, I was like, nope, I need the epidural. So like anytime anyone would come in, I'm like, can I have the epidural, please? And then because I was 4 centimeters, they were like, yeah, we'll get the epidural. So they told the anaesthetist, and then he did the epidural. And because I already had the spinal, they knew it worked and stuff like that. So they did that for me. I would not do the epidural again, and I don't recommend it because like it was dodgy. Like afterwards, I couldn't feel my left leg, like it was numb for so long.
Oh my God.
Like even after birth, like a month after birth.
Ah.
Yeah, and I remember telling them, I was like, because you know afterwards they take you down into that room, blah blah blah, and then I was saying like I can't feel my left leg still, my right leg's fine, and he was like, yeah, it just happens sometimes. You know, they don't really have an answer for you. So I was just like, yeah, I wish I didn't do that. Even when I was going for walks, like I tried to go for walks because it felt so weird. It was so heavy and numb, and the other leg was fine. I would never do epidural again. Obviously it was fine because I couldn't feel the pain anymore.
I bet you were like, yes.
I was like, oh, there's no more contractions. And it's like, yes, there are, but you're just not feeling them. And then I had, my sister was my birth partner. My sister's doctor, and she was in there. And then there was a student doctor, and there was the midwife who was literally crazy, but she was hilarious. Like, she was just all over the place. So my sister was basically the one telling me like, okay, make sure you push now and do this. I can see his head, blah, blah, blah. So.
Oh, to have your sister there is so cute.
It was so nice. Like, and my husband was there as well. Why did I just forget that?
But your sister as a doctor just hits different.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, she's going to know what to say. And you know what I mean? Like, I need them to know she's a doctor so they know what's going on. And then, so literally, I was just basically having contractions throughout the night. And then I gave birth 9:30 a.m. the next day. Wow. Yeah. I had an episiotomy. Because they were like, they were like, it's coming in. Do you have episiotomy?
Done. Rip me a new one.
Oh my God. Yeah, literally. So like,
so episiotomy is it when they
what?
It's when they I'm not gonna repeat it. Is it when they cut you?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not when
It's
it naturally
when they go
rips,
like this.
it's when they actually cut you.
They do a
actually-
straight line.
in a straight line. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Because
goodness.
they were like his head kept going in and out, in. And out.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
that
like,
happens sometimes.
so it's like I'll be pushing, and then like when I obviously.
do you know
it's
when
not-
that happens? When you have an epidural.
Really?
Because
you
I don't know what it is, but I think it's because you can't feel
feel it.
the strength of your push. So that never happened with me because I was pushing with all of my
it's like,
might.
yeah.
And then because you know when the contraction starts, like I tried to explain how this feels, but like it feels like an echo chamber in your stomach where like the pain is like knocking off bare places in your stomach. And then you get the urge to push, but because you had an epural, you don't know when that urge starts.
Yeah, you don't feel it. Yeah.
So I would start pushing when I know that it's coming, and then I'll push until that pain is gone.
Yeah.
And then that moves the baby.
Yeah.
But when you don't feel like the full length of the contraction, that's when you push a little bit and then it goes back and forth, back and forth. That's how I imagine it in my head.
Yeah, I can't imagine like trying to push with an epidural because you're so numb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you know
don't
you're
know.
even pushing? Like
You
don't
can't
know.
feel it. Yeah, they're like push like this, and you're like, I'm pushing so much, but you can't
God,
You
fully.
don't know how much you
So
need to
that-
push. Yeah.
That's another reason why. Because like after a while, like the epidural when it wears off, it's like for 20 minutes or whatever. Afterwards, I could kind of feel it, but it obviously still like dulls the pain. So it's like you can't fully feel that need, that urge to push, because you're just pushing and hoping for the best, you know what I mean? So that's kind of another con of it, like why I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
And then eventually though, so they were like, we'll let you try again, but apparently they leave like 2 hours for pushing, and if you take longer than that, they will have to like intervention. Is that what they say? Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they were like, okay,
Wow.
we've been pushing for like an hour and 15, I think, or something. And I was like, okay. So then she was like, I'm gonna have to do the episiotomy. And this is how much I didn't feel anything. Yeah. She was with her fingers, like she was just telling me stuff. And I was like, oh my God, are you cutting? Are you cutting? She was like, no, it's just my fingers. And I was like,
But she was
okay.
cutting.
She wasn't.
Oh.
But I don't know why I felt, because any feeling, I was just like, oh my God, they're cutting me. And then she was like, no, we're not. But then when they did cut me, I didn't even feel it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was,
So he's your
so-
rainbow baby.
yeah. So alhamdulillah, he came.
That's so beautiful. How did you feel when you held him?
Yeah. Oh my God, I was crying.
And that cry, that first
uncontrollably.
cry you heard.
Yeah, it was, oh my God, it was just,
The most beautiful sound,
yeah,
isn't it?
it was uncontrollable crying. Like I just couldn't. I was just crying. I was like, oh my days, I've literally never cried like that before. It was such a relief and happiness and just everything all mixed into one. Like, and then he was just they put him on my chest straight away.
It was the
Just, like,
moment
for
you have
ages.
been waiting for
Yeah.
how long?
Yeah,
And
literally.
he's finally here.
Your
It was
husband
like,
must have been
whew.
over the moon as
Yeah,
well.
he was so happy. And then like my mum and stuff, like they stayed in the hospital, they were downstairs, they were FaceTiming everyone. I was like, hi. It was so cute. Yeah. And then he was just on my chest for ages while they stitched me up and you're clear and all that kind of stuff. And then
Your
I'm there the
mum-
next
I'm thinking about your mum as well, because you're her daughter, right? And you went through something traumatic the first time, and I'm
Yeah.
sure the second time round, her heart was like in her throat the
Yeah.
whole time,
Yeah.
because she's thinking, I don't want my daughter to go through this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the day you went into labor, I bet your mum was just as relieved, like, alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
My grandchild is here.
Exactly. And my grandma was in the hospital as well.
Oh,
Like, my grandma passed away, and my granddad as well, but
Ilahi
in
Alhamdulillah.
October. But she was in the hospital in St. Thomas's. I mean, and we went to her.
Upstairs with the baby.
Yeah, it was so cute.
That's
like,
so wholesome.
and she was crying.
And she got to meet
yeah.
her grandchild.
So she got to meet him, yeah.
Great-grandchild.
Great-grandchild, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was so nice. Like, I was so happy that, obviously, he was born in July. She passed away in October. So she saw him lots of times after that as well. But yeah, that was so nice.
Do you know how lucky that is? Like,
Yeah.
if you took a picture with your
Yeah.
great-grandma, like his great-grandma, his grandma, you and him.
Yeah.
That's like 4 generations.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so beautiful.
And it's so, like, it's sad. Like, obviously, I don't want to get emotional, because I actually will get emotional about this, but like, because my grandma obviously passed away, and then my granddad passed away in June. So it's like, and my dad's parents have already passed away. So it's sad, because it's like, now we have no grandparents. But I'm glad, alhamdulillah, that, like, they got to see us grow up and be with us and see our kids. And
I have one left.
That's gonna make me so sad.
I have one grandparent left, and she's currently got dementia. And she's really old. Like, she's just forgot everyone. And
that's sad.
I want to see her before like anything happens.
Yeah.
But if Allah has written that I'll see her.
Yeah.
And if not, it's just gonna be very sad. But
Yeah.
once she's gone, I'll have no grandparents as well.
Yeah. It is sad, isn't it? You start thinking about these things, it's like, oh my God, like everyone's just, it's like real life just,
Yeah.
Oh,
hits you.
it hits different, man. My grandma, my mum's mum, passed away a month before Jenna was born. Literally just before Jenna was born.
oh
And she died when we weren't allowed to travel to America.
no.
I remember my mum was trying her best to get there. We went to the embassy and
I remember you told me about this.
we told them
Oh my
about the
God, they
situation.
still didn't let about,
They let her, but by the time they sent us like an
Confirmation.
approval or some
Yeah.
sort of confirmation, it was too late. It had
Yeah.
passed by then. But she passed so close to Jenna's birth, and
Yeah.
I wanted to have that picture of her, my mum, me,
yeah.
and Jenna.
Oh, that is so
But,
sweet.
Yeah, that never happened. But it's
really
Allah grant
sad.
her Jannah.
yeah,
I mean, you never know. Maybe you might get that picture with your mum. Hopefully, she lives long enough to see Jannah have children.
Oh,
that's insane.
that would be amazing, isn't it?
That would be
That's
lovely.
insane, bro.
You know, I was my mum's rainbow baby as well.
Really?
Yeah. So my mum experienced a loss when I think she said it was like 11 or 12 weeks, so 3 months, and they were traveling. And I think she said something about, in Africa, like the roads are like really like bumpy, like the car just flying around everywhere. And I think she said after that journey, she had like a proper miscarriage. And then I think it was like a year later, she got pregnant with me and then had me.
Oh, so you're like her angel child.
I've
her
never
special
really
child.
had that. I think I'm going to go home and have that conversation with her about how it affected her.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why, but I just never thought to have
Do you know
that
if it was a
conversation with
boy
her.
or a girl?
She couldn't, 3 months.
Oh, she didn't know yet.
She didn't know. So I could have had a sister or a brother.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing where like, because afterwards we went to the graveyard as well with Suleiman, and like, you know,
Oh, you
told
called him Suleiman.
Yeah, his
That's
name's
such a
Suleiman.
beautiful
I
name.
know, right?
Yusuf and Suleiman.
Yeah, Yusuf and Suleiman.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It's just so sweet. So like, one day, obviously he's like 1 year old now. He's just huge, but he's still tiny. So it's like, you know, I would want to tell him about that, and you know, tell him about his brother and stuff like that. But then it makes me sad because I'm just like, it's a sad thing, but it's just life, you know, and you just have to move through it. But every time I kind of think about it, it's like, oh, it kind of does bring me down, but it's okay, alhamdulillah. It was all written, and that was always going to be the plan regardless of anything. And if I've learnt from it, then that's a blessing, and I have to continue to learn from it and remind myself of that. And
That could be your route to heaven.
yeah, exactly. Inshallah, we'll be reunited in Jannah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Faith, is one of those things that honestly it keeps you sane. It keeps you afloat.
Yeah.
Because we literally, the Quran tells us, the hadiths tell us that you lose if a child passes away before puberty, they go straight to Jannah.
Sinless.
And Prophet Ibrahim plays with the kids,
Yeah,
right?
they
He
were
looks
the
after the
Prophet.
kids.
Yeah.
So it's things like that where when you actually read about it in Islam about children who pass away, you're just thinking, you know what, alhamdulillah, they're in a better place.
Yeah.
They're better than this dusty world. Anyways.
Exactly.
We'll, inshallah, meet each other,
Yeah.
you know, in the afterlife. And it kind of gives you that contentment
Yeah.
that
exactly.
they are in a better place. They're with Allah now. You know what I mean?
And you know, you right now, I don't know, I can't speak on the power of dua, but I feel like because you can feel that pain in your stomach, your dua for all mums who are experiencing this, especially like in Gaza right now,
Yeah.
like your dua for those mums, I feel like would be more powerful than mine or anyone that hasn't experienced it. So don't forget the other women who've experienced the same thing. Make so much dua for them.
Yeah.
Every time you feel sad, every time like you see, because I know it must be very triggering right now with all the stuff that's happening in
Oh my
Palestine.
God, so triggering.
And all the things on social media, like it must be extremely triggering for anyone who's lost a child. Make dua for them, like make prayers for them, pray for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the important thing. It's like when you come out of just yourself and you realize what's happening to other people, what's happening in the world, you realize that, you know, it's not even like a percentage of what they're going through. So it's just, you know, you have to always remember.
That doesn't
those that may
reduce
Allah
yours
make it
though.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't reduce yours in the slightest.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It doesn't. Just because someone else is having a worse time doesn't reduce your pain at all.
Yeah, well,
But
you still lost a
yeah,
child. That's
it's
a
a
massive thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
No, it
huge.
is, yeah. And I genuinely, I do feel like my du'as always get accepted. I'm not even saying, like, you know, sometimes you think,
Allahu
remember
Barik.
I was making du'a for that, and you're
Allahu
like,
Barik.
it's like, you know, sometimes we forget, like, we're making du'a for something so much, and then now you're like, because for example, I was making du'a so much for like to get pregnant and to have, you know, to have a child and to like see him in this world, and even little things like to pass your driving test or for this little interview or anything, like you make so much du'a for, and then when it's granted, you just kind of think, oh, and you just kind of move on. But then it always brings me back to that, because the way I was making du'a to get pregnant, it was just some serious du'a, you know? So I always try to remember that and be like, I don't need to make that du'a now. Well, of course, you would obviously, if you want to get pregnant, stuff like that. But I don't have that desperation to make that du'a anymore. So I don't want to forget how it was accepted and how lucky and blessed I am. Yeah.
bless you, man. How old is the little man now?
He's one. He turned one in 11th of July. So just last week.
baby.
Allah, like, he's literally got 2 teeth.
Oh,
Like 4 teeth, and he's walking around and running everywhere. He's so funny. Like,
the little teeth are so jokes. Like, how do you only have 4 teeth,
Yeah.
man? You're just walking around with only 4 teeth.
So unserious.
I find kids so funny.
yeah, so like, I got him his toothbrush. And like I brush his teeth and stuff like that. He always tries to
brush
grab-
his
I'm like,
tooth.
yeah. It's so funny.
Singular.
Yeah.
And the way that it's like this big.
It's so tiny as well. Like he's
Oh.
just hilarious. Like he makes me. It's so weird. Like he drives me crazy in the day because I'm just like, oh my god, give me a break. And then when he's sleeping, I'm like, I miss him. And my husband's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, but
That's an all mum thing.
yeah, don't you have that
Because
feeling? You just miss
literally
them.
at 4 years old, all day I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, get away from me, stop touching me, move away from me, go away, like you're so annoying.
Yeah.
In my head, obviously I don't tell her she's annoying, that's very rude. In my head I'm like, you're so jarring, you're so irritating.
Yeah.
As soon as she's asleep I'm like, oh, you're the most beautiful baby I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. They look so innocent
I
when they're
just
sleeping.
want to give you kisses and cuddles.
Yeah, they look
And I'm just like,
amazing.
oh, you're just so sweet. And then all day, as soon as she wakes 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh, for fuck's
Oh my god. Yeah, you never have a day off. Like, because I'm back to work now, but obviously it's summer holidays. So
sake. Yeah.
I'm like, yay, I get to be at home all day. And then I remember, oh yeah, like, because like maternity leave and stuff like that. Anyway, it was a good time, but I was so naive. Like, I thought, oh my God, now I'm going to be free. Because all the way until the birth, I was thinking, I just need to give birth. I just need to give birth. I just need to give birth. But then everything that comes after, I'm like, okay, this is not like a holiday like I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. It's a lot. You're sleep deprived and all of that stuff.
Oh God. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. I hope Allah gives you as many children as you want.
Ameen.
I hope Allah, you literally, I hope you enter Jannah because of this.
Ameen.
I hope that is your entry to Jannah. And I hope your baby pulls you in, you pull Suleiman in, and Suleiman pulls his dad in, like inshallah. And any other kids, let it be a long trail of the whole family in Jannah, inshallah. Like, I think I commend you, wallahi, for your strength, because
Honestly, man.
there's a lot of people who would not be sitting here, you know, just telling us about their very, very traumatic experience so eloquently and so like, wow.
That smile on your face, the noor on your face.
The
is
noor on
crazy
your
as
face,
well.
wallahi.
Your
Like,
face
it's
is
Too much. It's sweat.
just have such a nice face.
noor.
Mashallah, innit?
It's noor.
It's that noor,
See
man.
the smile, wallahi, Allahumma barik. It's inspirational, honestly.
It's so inspirational.
And also, your story made me cry. I don't think anyone has made me cry on this
Girl,
podcast
you,
so
you
far.
cry on almost every episode.
Yeah, but not
She
like
cries bare, innit?
no, but not like that. Like you actually like I could have sat here sobbing for another 20 minutes. Like, I had
Okay.
to,
No.
I had to stop myself.
This cry was a
Yeah.
bit mad though, because
Yeah.
I felt like this was a proper deep cry.
that one hurt.
While she's talking, she would just wipe her tears.
Yeah.
But this one was like,
Yeah.
you were kind
No,
of
if I
sobbing.
cried like about this, I literally wouldn't be able to continue doing this.
Okay.
So I was like, keep it together, cry later. But it's fine, it's fine to cry sometimes.
It's actually okay to cry.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm an advocate for crying. Cry
It's
your
good.
eyes
You feel
out.
better after you get your tears out and stuff like that. I remember all my aunties were like, don't keep it in, just cry. I'm just like, okay. Like, and you just
And I
kind of
love
have
that they
clear-
said that. You know why? Because I've lost a few family members, and we've had like older aunties saying, "Don't cry. It's not going to benefit them. Don't cry.
Yeah,
don't
but you
cry."
can
And I'm
cry.
like,
It's not about that.
"You're
though.
right. This is
That
a normal
mentality
human
is so
emotion. Can I be
flawed.
sad?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
That
mean?
mentality is so
It's
flawed.
but it's okay. Like obviously wailing and saying why, that's bad.
Yeah.
But
You
shedding
can cry.
tears,
Even the Prophet
come on,
ﷺ
man.
cried when his kids died.
Peace be upon him. Yeah, honestly, like
Sallallahu
it's
alaihi
okay to be
Yeah.
sad and it's okay to cry. Like,
Can I just end this off with something funny?
go
Yeah.
on.
I actually did not know people did this, but like in some places in Africa, like in Kenya, for example, when someone dies, they'll pay people to come and like,
Oh
like,
my
like,
God.
they'll literally pay people to come and cry very loud,
Oh my God.
like wail, like cry, like be dramatic. Like
why?
they got packages. Like, do you want me to? If you want me to faint, it's gonna be this much extra.
Oh my God.
If you
it's
want me
like
to cause a scene, it's gonna be this much extra.
Oh my God.
If you want me to just cry normally, wailing on the floor, this much. I thought that was the funniest thing.
That is
Like they have a budget for it. Is that not the
Wow.
craziest
Is that
thing?
to show like this
How
person
much
was
they were
someone-
loved.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but you've paid an actor. This is a paid
yeah,
actor.
yeah, that is hilarious.
Like you know that this person doesn't even know the person who died.
No,
Yeah,
this is a
wait,
service.
That's
This is they're
crazy.
providing a
but wait,
service.
everyone knows.
I don't know if everyone
No,
knows.
I think maybe one family member does.
Oh, and then
When
everyone thinks.
Listen, when you see them popping up at all the funerals, you're gonna know. How you know everybody that died? How do you know everyone?
You're wailing at everyone's funeral.
No, that's
He fainted at that person's funeral.
There's
Yeah.
so many ways to make money on this in this world.
Oh,
It's
it's
mad.
too funny.
No, honestly, but Shukri, thank you for coming.
I've loved having you on this.
Thank
It's
you.
been very nice.
I've loved being on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Literally, I listen to you guys all the time. Like, when I gave birth the second time, I was binge watching all of you guys' videos. Literally, like with Rhea, Ellen, everyone. I was just like, this is hilarious. This is getting me through the postpartum period. So make sure you guys continue forever, please. And do
I
events.
miss Rhea.
Do events.
Yeah, tell Rhea to come back on and then do
I
an
miss
event.
Rhea. We need Rhea back.
Rhea, if you're watching this, just slide in the DMs. Anyways, yeah, no, we're gonna do part 2 with her. We're gonna do it inshallah.
Yes.
But
inshallah.
thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
May Allah reward you for
Ameen,
everything you've been
ameen, and you
through.
too.
And
And
I
you
honestly
both.
aspire to be like you, like your strength, your everything. Like, may Allah reward you.
May Allah reward you guys for this podcast and your kids
Ameen.
and protect your whole family.
Ameen.
Anyways, guys,
Thank you.
that's the end of this episode.
Sorry for being so Debbie Downer.
Yeah, but yeah.
This is the
Sorry,
first
guys.
time you guys have seen me not energetic, and I think that it's weird. I feel weird as well. Maybe I'm hungry, but thank you for tuning in.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I found it quite inspiring and such a wholesome end to the story. And if you guys resonated with it, let us know in the comments.
Show her some love and support as well. Make dua for her
make
and
dua
her
for
baby,
Shukri.
and all babies and all parents who are experiencing loss.
Yeah.
Don't forget them.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a lovely week. See you at the next episode. Bye.